Joining us live right now is Congressman Brian Bilbray to explain more about the problem and the letter that he sent off. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you?
Hey, John. Great to be with you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being on America's Morning News. And, sir, as Melanie mentioned, you represent the 50th District of California, which is, if memory serves correct, just above San Diego. First, bring us up to date on what the immigration situation is like on the border of Mexico and California, sir.
Yeah, you're right, John. That's where the 50th district is. I actually grew up right on the border. Actually, two houses divided my home from the border area. So,
wow,
watch this issue grow up, and it is just in a time when the word is getting around the world that America doesn't want you to come here illegally. They want you to play by the rules. Just when the situation is where illegals are not only not coming, but they're going home. Now we've got Congress waving the white flag and actually putting the welcome mat out for people to break our laws again. And in two forms. First, you've got Gutierrez from Chicago, somebody who obviously don't understand the cost of illegal immigration on the border, but talking about giving a new amnesty program. And we've also got the new so-called health plan that does not require that we use our SAVE verification to make sure that whoever gets in the system is legally in the country. So they really don't think it's a big deal to reward illegals with health care or with amnesty.
There are a lot of people who are deeply concerned about illegal immigration and the issue currently that's, there's been any number of demonstrations in Washington, D.C. over the years. I remember meeting you at Hold Their Feet to the Fire. People are talking about it, of course, in California and all the other border states, but healthcare just seems to be the one area in which Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are determined to proceed forward.
Very determined, because the Open Border Pro-Illegal Immigration Caucus has basically lobbied and said, look, if illegals don't have access to this system, if you check, we will not vote for it, and she needs that liberal vote. So she's literally willing to sell out the rule of law, the concept of, or the fairness of not rewarding people who broke the law while those wait patiently to play by the rules. She's willing to sell that out because there is a block of liberals who say we will not vote for it if it doesn't guarantee access to illegals into the system.
How many illegals are we talking about?
Well, we're talking a minimum of 12 to 15. I mean, you got to understand,
million.
12 million they use, is that are in the system. That's self-declared, and it could be up to 20. The fact is, the president, to remember, went from 47 million insurers, and then when he gave a speech before Congress, he said 30. So it appears that the president thinks there's 17 million out there, because when he said no illegals will gain access, he dropped the number 17 million from the 47 down to the 30 million.
Congressman, before we jump to the health care debate, I want to ask you, what is the situation like along the border now with regard to the escalation in the drug wars? And they're saying more and more that it's crossing over into America. Have you seen an increase in the violence?
John, we've seen that the battle is raging on the Mexican border. And I got to say one thing. The people in Mexico, northern Mexico, are paying a high cost to fight this border war. So I've got to say, with all our complaints about Calderon on immigration, he realizes that he has nothing he can do but wage war on these drug cartels if he wants to save his national sovereignty. We're seeing we're seeing heads decapitated. We had one father walk in with 2 fingers into one of our hospitals, wrapped up in a gauze because his daughters had been kidnapped, and he wanted to know if he could save the fingers and get them reattached after he got his girls back. That's happening on American soil, and this is why we've got to understand that these cartels, John, are not just drug smuggling cartels. They smuggle guns and illegals north. They are alien smuggling too. These are just smuggling cartels. They send guns and money south, and the lack of control, not only in our borders but in our neighborhoods, are feeding these monsters that are creating these kind of things. And I've seen photos, I've been briefed by the local law enforcement and the FBI, and the atrocities are things that you literally could not show on American television.
Unbelievable. You know, and I've got to say this, that I was at a airport security line, Congressman, and they made a big deal about not letting a father on an airplane because he had one of those snow globes that he bought for his daughter that he wanted to bring home as a Christmas gift, and they took it from him. And here you've got everything going on along the border, and nobody seems to care, but you can't take a snow globe on an airplane.
I have a quick question for you before we have to go, Congressman. The Lockerbie bomber has disappeared in Libya. He was released on compassionate grounds, very controversial earlier this summer, and now he appears to have gone missing in Libya after outliving the doctor's prescriptions that he should have been dead by now. What do you think about that?
I think Scotland should be paid for their decision, and the fact is, look, Scotland got its autonomy from England. With that right comes a responsibility, and it appears that Scotland has sold out for an oil deal, and I think we should hold them accountable. They may have been friends for a long time, but friends have got to get into friends' face and tell them when they're wrong. I think it was a mistake we made in Congress not telling Bush when we thought they were making a mistake, but these guys have made a dreadful mistake that they should be held accountable for. Scotland has made a decision to cut deals with terrorists, and we ought to be in their face more than we would somebody who was our enemy.
All right, Congressman Brian Bilbray, a Republican from Southern California, thank you, sir, for being on America's Morning News.
Still coming up. Thank you so much.